Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Bouncing Back with Brighton. In today's episode we are going to start with the Champions League group stage draw. Now we are in, let me quick check, I think we're in pot 4 or maybe pot 3. So the likelihood of having a very difficult group is quite high. We're also playing Southampton and the opening game in the Champions League. So before we get into any matches, we will do the Champions League group stage draw. I'm going to absolutely fly through pot 1 and pot 2, and then we'll take a look, see what sort of group we could potentially face. So Bayern, Inter, Liverpool, Atletico Madrid, Porto, Milan, Napoli, Man U, Paris Saint-Germain, Dortmund, Real Madrid, Olympique Lyon, Juventus, Monaco, Man City, Barca. Honestly, they all look nightmarish, apart from, excuse me, Porto and AC Milan. So I would like to get drawn into Group C. We are in the third seeds, so we'll see where we get. We miss Bayern and Inter Milan, which I'm quite happy about. We obviously miss Liverpool and Atletico Madrid. And do we get... No, we don't. We miss Group C, so we are going into a difficult group, no matter what happens here. We've got Real Madrid and Olympique Lyon. Now, Lyon, I think, was smashed last season in the Champions League, but they did beat us the season prior in the Europa League final. If you can cast your minds back to that, we'll see who our fourth place side is Krasnodar. So, I'm actually quite happy with this group. I think we've got the beating of Lyon and Krasnodar, and then Real Madrid will probably beat us both times, but that's absolutely fine. We could potentially finish second in this group quite easily. So we are going to face Olympique Lyon in our first Champions League game and Southampton in the Premier League, so I'll quickly get to that and we'll review the fixtures that you've missed. So we'll quickly review the fixtures since the last time we met. This league season has started okay. I mean, the first 3 games absolutely magnificent. The 4th game's not so great. But let's take a look. Obviously, you're seeing this one. We beat Blackburn 3-0 in the opening day of this season. The next game was a 5-1 victory at home against Liverpool. Now, obviously, 5-1 was an incredibly generous scoreline considering the match stats. But David Abraham got 2, Gravenberch got 2, and Doku got 1 to give us probably the best victory we've had on this save so far. Liverpool, very, very talented side. They beat us multiple times last season, and we absolutely smashed them today. Next up was a comfortable win at home against Watford 4-0. Diogo Aquino, Roberto Alvarado, Sebastian Yaros, and Rodrigo Marquez getting the goals today. We did dominate this game and fully deserved the 3 points. And this was the only disappointment in the opening 4 games. It was a 1-1 away draw against Swansea City. I think they were incredibly fortunate to get out of this game with a point, but they did take the lead early on through Yuri Alberto in the 14th minute. Abilio Neves didn't equalise till the 71st for us, and that was all we got. So in terms of the Premier League table, we are currently sitting in 5th, but we do have a game in hand on Liverpool, who are above us, and 2 games in hand against all the other teams who are above us. So we could theoretically become joint top alongside Arsenal on 16 points. And that leads us to today's game. We are away from home against Southampton. We are suffering a little bit through injury, so this is going to be the lineup for today's game. Antonio Carlos in goal, Tavares, Gonçalves, Juric and Carlos Julio in the defence. Benty Eben Aquino in the centre with Sebastian Yaros, Gravenberch and Jeremy Doku in the attack and midfield positions. And David Abraham leads the line. Gravenberch has now withdrew his transfer request, and just as that happened, I'm going to actually search for this because it's ridiculous, considering we were getting like £30 million offers from everybody. Gravenberch is targeted by Real Madrid in a £136 million move. Now, this is never going to happen. I don't know what it is about FM19, but the media stories in terms of valuations of players, they never come in with that offer anymore. It used to be kind of a good gauge of how much you could get out of the AI. But we'll wait and see. Our 136 million, I would bite the hand off for how many issues he has been causing. But now, we're coming up against Southampton with the 4-2-3-1. This was the formation that Swansea City actually played against us, so we need to be careful. It might counter us a little bit. Let's get the kick-off. So we kick off shooting from right to left in the first half. Southampton have got a decent side. Not absolutely crazy. They've still got the likes of Bednarek in the defence. And if you can't remember Bednarek, he was the player we were targeting when we were in the Championship to come into our defence. So we definitely have the better of them in terms of players. Let's just see how that actually falls in the game. 7 minutes in, it's an early highlight for Southampton with the corner. Antonio Carlos claims that quite easily. And maybe the highlight's not over. The ball finds its way to Carlos Julio on the left-hand side. He tries to find Ibrahim. It falls to Aquino, and it falls to Sebastian Yaros. A bit of a sloppy bit of play, but we manage to get the goal. Sebastian Yaros' second goal of the season, and the assist is accredited to Aquino. I think it was just his strike was blocked by the Southampton defender, but I'll always take that. As you can see, he does take the strike. That's incredibly fortunate, but it's a fantastic finish by Yaros on his weaker foot to put us 1-0 up. Another highlight now, the ball coming down the left-hand side again as Doku cuts in, gets into the box, falls to Aquino, and he heads it. He doesn't head it, he shoots it just over. Another highlight now, 16 minutes in. It's Southampton in possession. Let's see what they can do with it. Some decent play by Southampton to retain possession, but they're still in the midfield. They're slowly but surely working the way up the pitch with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain off this right-hand side. The ball comes to Peruzzi on the right-hand side. We managed to cut out the cross, and now maybe we can break. Bentia with a big hoof up, falls to Zuma, who heads it straight to David Ibrahim. He has got the talent and the pace to get past the defenders, and what an absolute goal that is. All by himself, no support whatsoever, as we were on the counter. A lot of our men were in defensive positions, and he's took that by himself. Zuma's no mug. He's got the physicals to match Ibrahim, but Ibrahim bursts past him, gets past the other defender, and it's a tidy finish for his third goal of the season. Another highlight now, 20 minutes in. It's Ibrahim on the ball once again, finds Jeremy Doku on the edge, who's got Gravenberch and acres of space, and there was no doubt about that. As soon as you saw him in that much space, he was always going to get that in the back of the net. His third goal of the season, another assist for Jeremy Doku, and David Ibrahim involved in the line lead up again. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Great finish from the edge, 3-0. Another highlight now, Gravenberch picks up a loose ball from the Southampton defence, nearly gets his second goal of the game. Free kick from us in the Southampton half. Gonçalves gets there, Ibrahim gets the final touch on it, and I don't think there's any suggestions of offside. David Ibrahim's fourth goal of the season. This was another sloppy one. It was a Gravenberch free kick. It's played in. Gonçalves wins the header. It just bobbles off a couple of players, falls to Ibrahim, who's sliding and gets the final touch on it. This is going incredibly well, considering we're not retaining possession whatsoever. And there we go, half-time, Brighton 4, Southampton 0. Absolutely dominating this match despite not retaining too much of the possession, but we don't care about that. As long as the scoreline is going in our favour, that is all that matters. Early highlight in the second half, 47 minutes in, it's Aquino on the edge, takes a strike, hits the bar, and Sebastian Yaros can't quite get there as Zuma clears. 25 minutes to go in this match. We will look to make some changes. Gravenberch is struggling a little bit out there. We're going to bring Mbalo on in his position. Unfortunately for us, Bert Jacobs, our backup attacking midfielder, is still currently injured. We'll look to get Jeremy Doku off as well for Roberto Alvarado, and we'll see how these boys perform. Another highlight with 20 minutes to go. Mbalo on the ball finds Aquino. Thomas Tavares again in the acres of space, but it falls to Ibrahim, back to Tavares. He tries to get the ball in and it falls to Mbalo on the penalty spot. He gets his first goal of the season and an assist for Thomas Tavares. We're always creating space down that right hand side. He's always getting in a little pockets of space, and eventually the ball does come from here through Ibrahim, and it's another great play to get down to the byline, get the ball in. It does get a ricochet, but Mbalo's on hand to tuck it away nicely. And with 10 minutes to go, we will look to make our final sub of the game. We'll look to get off Carlos Julio. No, we won't. Abilio Neves is injured. We will look to bring on Rodrigo Marquez. We'll bring him on that right hand side for Sebastian Yaros. He can play in that position. I don't want to take off Ibrahim in case he can get a hat-trick. And with only 20 seconds remaining, this will be the final highlight of the game. It looks likely that it will finish Brighton 5, Southampton 0. Another great performance to start the season. 4 wins and 1 draw out of the opening 5 games is not too shabby, particularly when you've played Liverpool. And there it is, full time, 5-0. And with that, 3 points, it sees us rise to third in the Premier League table with games in hand still on Man City and Arsenal. So, got a couple of days, we'll get to the Lyon game and I'll see you there. And here we are, the opening game of the Champions League season for this year. We face our familiar foe in Olympic Lyon in the opening game of the Champions League. We will look to make some changes to this bench because we don't need so many strikers. I'm pretty happy with this lineup, so we'll go with that. Antonio Carlos in goal, Tavares, Gonçalves, Julic and Abilio Neves in defence. Bentia and Aquino in the centre with Sebastian Yaros, Gravenberch and Doku in the attack midfield spots. And Ibrahim will, of course, lead the line. So they come at us with the 4-2-3-1. We have struggled against this formation in the past, so we will look to make some changes to the opposition instructions. Moussa Dembele is still at the club, Nabil Fekir, Traore, Ndombele, Aouar, Mendy. So it's a pretty familiar lineup to the start of the game. So we kick off, starting our Champions League campaign against Lyon. We are at home and we are shooting from right to left in this first half. 16 minutes in and we get our first highlight of the game. Sebastian Yaros comes in and pinches it from Mendy on that right hand side for us. Ibrahim picks it up, Gravenberch takes a strike and it goes just wide. Another highlight now, 21 minutes into the match. We have the ball in our own half in the defence. Please no mistakes, because that could lead to misery. There was mistakes. Bertrand Traore. Well, Gravenberch with what a challenge that was, but Dembele picks up the loose ball. Aouar, he's looking for runners. He finds De La Vega on this left-hand side. Dembele has it open in acres of space there. And Antonio Carlos makes it look a little bit easy. Should have done better with that, I think. And now we are for half-time, 0-0 board game at the minute. Nobody really creating too many clear-cut chances. Dembele probably should have put Lyon 1-0 up in front early on. But we'll kick off for the second half and see how we get on. Another highlight now. Thomas Tavares on the right-hand side gets the ball in. It's cleared by Lyon, but Gravenberch is there. And Lopez saves it. He should be doing better with that one. We should find ourselves 1-0 up. Corner for Lyon. Fekir plays it in. Ndombele with the header. And Antonio Carlos with an absolute worldie of a save, keeping us in this match. It's not looking great, to be honest with you. Sebastian Yaros with a corner for us. It's played in, but it's cleared by the first man. But it comes out to Bentieb, and he does have options on the wings. He finds Gravenberch instead on the inside to Diogo Aquino. Back to Julic, to Neves. We've kept possession well, but we're not really finding the killer balls right now. Bentieb does have that in his locker if he is to actually maybe try it. Abilio Neves, though, finds Ibrahim in the box, and Ibrahim gets the first goal of the game. It doesn't look like it was offside, but it is going to VAR. There was a killer through ball by Abilio Neves, of all people. And I would really like it if this... It does look like it's counting. And we did keep possession for about 2 minutes in game. And Abilio Neves slots it through lovely for Ibrahim. And it's the easiest finish of his career to put us 1-0 up. Highlight out straight away, though. Fekir with a free kick hits the post and goes just wide. We are going to go to a more cautious mentality now. Lyon have matched us player for player in this game. So if we are to get the win, we're going to need to be careful. In terms of substitutions, we're going to take off Jeremy Doku and bring on Roberto Alvarado. We will look to maybe make another change. Jordan Henderson come on for Hassan Bentieb in the defensive midfield spot. I brought on Roberto Alvarado there. Mistakes have been made. Are we going to get punished? I don't think we are. We've actually found ourselves going 2-0 up with the winger in defensive midfield. I'm going to have to make this change right now. We didn't take off Jeremy Doku. I don't know what happened there. So we will take off Jeremy Doku this time and bring on Jordan Henderson in the defensive midfield spot. But we go 2-0 up. Jeremy Doku's 10th, his second goal of the season. And Aquino header to the back post ends up finding its way to the other post. And Doku does well to get that over the line. 5 minutes to go. There is another highlight. Is that going to be a red card for us? Or either of them? Oh, it's apparently a pale. That looked outside the box to me, but the referee's going over the VAR. I'll see you in 10 minutes. And he's finally given a free kick rather than a penalty. With only a few minutes remaining, we will look to make our final sub of the game. We'll get Gravenberch off. We'll bring on Marco Boulat in the attacker midfield spot just to see out the rest of this game. It wasn't a convincing win, but it's 3 points nonetheless. We were at home, which leads me a little bit worried for the away leg. Hopefully we play better in that game, but we did get away with a 2-0 win. We did kept a clean sheet, which is all that matters, and 3 points. Let's see how Real Madrid and Krasnodar got on in their game. So Real Madrid ended up winning 3-1 away from home against Krasnodar, which sees them sitting top of our group. Obviously early days in that sort of situation, but looking forward to the next episode. We are going to face Real Madrid ourselves, this time away from home, and we'll face Wolves in the Premier League in the game after that. But anyway, if you have enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like, and if you are enjoying my content, get yourself subscribed. But until next time, take it easy.